Hey guys, welcome to episode number 3 of Cameron's Corner, Utah Real Estate Insights, your go-to podcast for everything happening in the Utah County real estate world. I'm your host, Cameron Hecking, and each week we dive into what's happening in the market, offer real advice for buyers and sellers, and highlight one current real estate deal you won't want to miss. In today's episode, I'm sitting down with Travis Maddox, a sales rep for EDGEHomes, one of the most active and well-known builders here in Utah. We're going to break down some of the latest builder incentive data, compare new construction versus resale homes in today's market, and talk through what's actually more affordable in Utah right now. Then we'll wrap it up by highlighting EDGEHomes' current builder incentives as our deal of the week, including how buyers are getting thousands off in credits and upgrades this summer. Let's get into it. Getting into it, it's important to define what an incentive or a concession is. This is money the builder offers back to you, the buyer, to help you afford the home. In today's market, affordability is huge. And it's important to point out that the price tag on a new construction home might not always be cheaper than the price tag on a resale, but with these incentives, it can make the overall affordability of the home much easier to stomach. Travis, thanks for jumping on the podcast. I'm really excited to have you here to dive into this conversation. I know you've been deep in the numbers, so I'm pumped to hear your take on what's actually going on out there in the new construction world. So I've got to ask, what's your take on this? Are buyers leaving money on the table by not considering new construction?
Cameron, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be here today because this is something that I'm trying to hammer home with buyers and the clients that I'm working with right now is that new construction is more affordable than resale because of those concessions and the incentives. Right now, resale homes typically aren't offering as much in concessions as builders are. Builders have margins that they have worked into each and every home that they can cut into in order to have a home sell. So to answer your question, yes, buyers are leaving money on the table if they're not at least considering new construction.
As an agent on the largest team here in Utah, I actually have personally seen instances where this new construction truly is more affordable than going the resale route. I'm currently working with a buyer who's going to be closing tomorrow on her home. And she was in a situation where she wasn't able to get approved for anything that worked for her and her family. And we decided to go the new construction route and take advantage of their incentives. And not only did she get approved, but she was able to get approved at a rate and a payment that works for her and her family. We're able to get her into her house right now when she was told by others that she would have to wait. And she's able to hop in and start building that equity while Utah is still appreciating. So, new construction was most definitely a route that got her into the housing market today. For anyone who's paid attention to the market for a long time or has bought in markets that are in a different landscape than this one today, you know that builder incentives are not always the same. The same builder isn't going to always be offering the same thing. So, Travis, for buyers listening now, is there a certain time when builder incentives are strongest, like end of quarter or slow seasons? Or is it based more on sales velocity? What is it that goes into a builder's incentive?
I started selling for EDGEHomes in December of 2019. And at the time, we were offering about $3,000 to $4,500 worth of concessions. That typically went towards design credits because we were offering a lot more builds than quick move-ins. As COVID heated things up, that concession dropped closer to $1,500 in total closing costs. Edge was receiving anywhere from 5 to 10 offers or more on every single home. And because of that, Edge did not need to offer a larger concession. As far as what goes into or what impacts how much builders are offering in concessions, a lot of it depends on the home. So a quick move-in home versus a build, quick move-ins, if they're closing within the next 30 to 45 days, especially if they're finished and have been sitting for a while, the builder is going to want to get that off of their books and is going to offer larger incentives or more money for the buyer to afford the home in order to sell that specific home. Typically on builds, you're going to have lower concessions because the builder can always do what's called a spec home, where the builder chooses the floor plan and chooses any upgrades, builds the home, and then has a quick move in later on. Worst case scenario, they offer larger concessions. Ideally, somebody buys it in the meantime and they close on it with lower concessions. It's also going to depend on rates. Typically, when rates go up, sales go down because affordability goes down. And when affordability drops and sales drop, builders need and want to incentivize buyers to come and purchase their home instead of resale home or a home that's existing. It's also going to depend, especially with larger builders like D.R. Horton, Lennar, even Edge, it's going to depend on the community. So if Edge has a community that they're trying to close out, meaning they have 5 or 6 homes left in that community, Edge is going to want to sell those homes quicker than a new build in a different community.
No, that totally makes sense. And I think we all know in today's current state of real estate that rates is a huge thing that is going to be affecting us right now, affecting our overall affordability. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what does that mean for us today? Because right now, our rates over the past 3 years are the highest that they've been since 2000. Rates averaged about 8.08% back in 2000. And then in 2023, they were averaging 7%. So in today's current climate, we're averaging about 6.81% for interest rates. So on the new construction side of things, how is that relaying as far as the incentives being offered to help with that affordability while we're still sitting up there in the high sixes?
Today's incentives on quick move-ins from Edge are 6% of the final purchase price. Let's say you're buying a $500,000 townhome. Edge, the builder, is going to offer you $30,000 that you can use at your discretion to buy your rate down, pay closing costs, even reduce the price of the home, just to help with affordability and maintain sales for Edge.
Holy crap, $30,000 incentive for a townhome is actually insane. And obviously, we know that that's coming because of these high interest rates, like we've talked about. And we're hoping, all of the forecasts are saying that interest rates should be coming down like they have been. We're hoping to see a low 6% by the end of 2025, with potentially a 5% at the front of that in going into 2026. And so I want to ask you, Travis, where do you see those builder incentives going as interest rates continue to go down? We're sitting at $30,000 right now for a townhome. Where can we expect to see that go as those rates keep coming down?
That's a great question, one that not enough agents are asking and not enough buyers are paying attention to. Typically, we see the lower the interest rate, the lower the incentives. So if rates continue to fall like they have been, we're going to see those incentives disappearing pretty quickly. Oftentimes, builders are looking at interest rates on a weekly basis, if not a daily basis, so that they can maximize the profit on each and every one of their homes. As rates trend down, we're going to see these incentives disappear quickly. In addition to lowering or decreasing incentives, builders will oftentimes increase the price of their home, again, in order to maximize profits. The average interest rate from 2000 to 2008 was about 1.5% higher than it is today. And incentives were about half a percent higher than they are today. So we can see from the early 2000s, even from the mid 2000s, that the higher the rate, the higher the incentives. And history is teaching us that the lower the interest rate, the lower the rate of concessions that builders tend to offer.
No, that totally makes sense. And that is something that I've personally been trying to preach to the people that I've been helping buy. I've seen time and time again, new construction and what they offer as far as incentives go really does make a huge difference in the affordability when it comes to purchasing a home. And speaking to the future, that shows us kind of this pocket of time that we're in right now, where interest rates are high enough that builders are going to offer these types of incentives, but they're not at the peak of where they were at. And so what I've been saying to all my buyers when I'm preaching to you now who's listening is, if you are on the fence waiting for affordability's sake, you are in a pocket of time where affordability might be better now than it is going to be in the future. If interest rates do come down like we hope they're going to, what we're going to see is Utah's housing is still going to appreciate. home prices are still going to go up, but you're going to lose out on some of this negotiation power and some of these incentives that you don't even need to negotiate with from the builders at all, that they're just offering to you. So, to wrap it all up and to kind of sum things up, if you're wanting the most affordable option, right now we have seen lower interest rates than we have in the past month, and we're seeing awesome builder incentives still. So I encourage you, if you're wanting to buy, reach out to me and let's see what these new construction opportunities have in store for you and how they can help you on the affordability standpoint to get into that home. Well, that wraps up this week's episode of Cameron's Corner. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this helped you better understand what's happening in the market right now and how you can take advantage of it. If you're thinking about buying, selling, or investing in real estate here in Utah, I'd love to help. I'm always happy to answer questions or walk you through what makes sense for your situation. You can reach out to me directly at 385-232-0980 or send me a DM on Instagram at cameronhecking.re. And if you liked what you heard today, send me your email and I'll add you to my weekly newsletter. It's packed with local real estate tips, fun Utah updates, and more deals just like the ones that we talked about today. Thanks again for listening, and I'll catch you next week on Cameron's Corner.